Right, just finished the workout. Time for breakfast. So, step 1, banana. Step 2, vegan protein powder. Go with a cheeky scoop and a half in there. One of my other secret formulas, I say secret formulas, is oat milk. So lactose and dairy doesn't really agree with all in here. So oat milk is my thing. We just put a nice bit in there. Cheeky oat, so simple. See how this is building up now. 3. There we go. 1 banana, scoop and a half of vegan protein, some oats, ice, cinnamon, and you're in heaven. So sometimes you've got to give it a bit of a shake. Let it go again. Let's take a look at the end result. Let's put this right here. Take a look. Breakfast of champions. This is how winners start their day. Lovely shake, oats, protein, everything you need. Let's get into it. Let's give it a taste test. But this is lovely. My word, need to have a bit more. Today, gonna have an action-packed day. Have a bit of fun. As you can see, first and foremost, this isn't looking too great right now. I don't know if anyone else has got the non-connecting moustache beard challenge that I do, so gonna go and get this face tidied up at the barber's first and foremost. Then we're gonna go and meet a good friend of mine, Dylan. We're gonna talk everything cars, so I'm gonna go up and meet, just have a chat, chop it up about the cars, my car, his car, how he would recommend you can go about financing your own cars. We'll have a bit of fun, and then just go and meet up with some other people, take our time, have some good conversations, and see where the day takes us. So stay tuned, and let's get into it. Smile.
Hey, good to see you, bro.
You good?
Well, yeah, since Hugo has moved into his own room as much as possible,
of course.
Just trying our best to like mitigate risk, you know.
Of course.
I'm
looking at myself, I'm like, I'm getting the trim like this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm seeing you like that, but
yeah,
it's
lockdown. It was amazing, like you said, almost like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah,
You know, business shut down, and I can't lie, I never thought I'd see anything that would cause me to shut down completely.
Of course.
People always need haircuts. I'm always here. I'm always able to give them to them.
Yeah.
But,
one of my videos before is that statement of when your back is against the wall, that in itself can be one of the most powerful and really impactful things that can happen to you, because when your back is against the wall, it forces innovation. It forces you to think out the box and,
as they say, innovate or die.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
And so now you're at a stage where you know, you kind of three main strands to your portfolio, kind of like your work, stocks and art.
Yes,
or is there
pretty
anything even more to it now?
I am definitely working on more things for the brand.
Yeah.
And I think when you work on your brand, as you know, it's brilliant because it will only strengthen your current position as well as bringing in extra income as well.
Most definitely.
So that seems like a no-brainer for me. So I think that's what I'm working on. But I've actually kind of gone a little bit like more back to basics as well. And I am working on creating, it's very basic, but an emergency cash pile.
Right.
Like, just so that I know. What's interesting to me is that during this period, there's a few of my friends that I spoke to, and they said to me, "Oh man, like, you know, how you doing?" Like, and I said, "Yeah, you know, it's a bit rough right now, but you know, I'm doing all I can to try and survive." And I said to him, "You know, how are you doing?" And then I remember my friend said, "Well, fortunately, me and like his wife, he said, we had 7 months worth of mortgage payments saved up. He's like, so you know, we're okay for now." And I was like, "Geez, like 7 months, man." And I was like, that's amazing. Like, and then I said to him, I was like, "Bro, like, you should be very, very proud of that, you know?" And then I think what kind of got me as well is that I was thinking, and it wasn't into boast. It's like, I know I earn more than this guy and his wife. And I was like, then it makes you think, where's my money? What has it been going towards?
I've always seen a lot of power, and I'll come back to a lot, but in property, one of the other reasons is because, and I know that it almost sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but because you can't access the money immediately. Like, if you really want to take all the money out the property, you'd sell it, right? And it doesn't just sell, and you don't just get the money in your account. So the reality is it kind of provides a natural safety blanket, because if you're stuck and you're thinking, I need money, and you have property, you kind of always know you've got a good amount of money tied up in that asset. So you can't just run to. So
that's it. It's literally
you see
tied
what I mean?
up.
Exactly. So even your property, you know, if you wanted to sell, that's great, but you might not see that capital for months. So it wouldn't be your immediate thought or your go-to to say, oh, you know, let me sell. You're probably gonna have to start to become creative.
I would have been deeply upset if I'd have to pull out money from stocks where I'd now had like an amazing return just to put food on my table, just to survive and pay mortgage and stuff like that. I would have been so upset. That money's supposed to be for like retirement and like, you know, by using that to invest in more things like property and stuff like that, not to just make ends meet, like, you know. So which is what showed me like that kind of emergency cash pile is very useful, you know.
If you want to, you know, build a highly successful business, or you want the chance of really scaling your income, you know, it's very, very rare that you can get astronomical returns without rolling the dice in some way.
Bro, absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon, man. Thanks again. He's got me fresh, man. We're looking good, ready to rock. I'll see you soon, man. Take care. Right, let's call Dylan. How we looking? He got me fresh, didn't he? Ready to rock.
My bike ride.
Ah, that's hilarious. All right, I'll see you there for about 2:30. Yeah? How are you?
I'm fine, man. I never saw this type of car, so.
Oh, you never seen it before?
Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked.
Okay, it's a BMW i8. i8, yeah. Exactly. You take care, my man.
Where you were, because I actually had a better idea, because I didn't get time to
get a quick munch before we go and meet Dylan and talk about everything cars. 3 chicken selects as a sweet chili and a hamburger. Right, let's get ready to rock on to the next step. Rich, you ready? Let's do it. Yes.
How you doing, boss?
Gotta do the elbows. She's looking clean.
Clean, as always.
When I look at these two, and it's just like, I've always been the coupe guy.
Little and large.
This guy's always living large, whether it's the saloons or the Jeeps or the whatever.
Just more comfortable. It's more comfortable up there, but
the colour, whenever the light's out though, it's just...
You know me, I like to stand out a little bit.
Listening every time, man. A lot of people are always asking questions about the beast, the Batmobile. How much does he cost? How do you run it? How do you afford it? So I thought it's time, let people in, just help people understand a bit more about what does it take to buy these, own them.
Maintain it.
And I thought there's no one better to speak to than my boy, Dylan, the Lux Auto Group, just to kind of help shed some gems on financing these cars, affording them. And I know we've kind of had slightly different perspectives at times, so thought it'd be good to just explore it and see where we end up. So I'm gonna just kind of start off by saying, so my car, brand new, with it being the Protonic Frozen Black Edition, you're looking at, as I say, brand new, fresh out the showroom, £114,000, 300 was the last number I saw. So did I pay that? Absolutely not. Sales has treated me well, but at the same time, you know, that's a lot of money for a car, and I personally don't tend to look at buying any car brand new, because as with anything, you drive it out the showroom, almost instantly you've lost a third of your money typically, just based on the fact that it's not new anymore. So this is a 2017 car. I bought it a couple of years old with about 8,000 miles on it at the time. I've maybe put 5,000 or 6,000 on it. I paid almost half that for the car, so significantly less. But really, it's always felt like a brand new car, even regardless of that. So I don't know about you, do you tend to buy new, or what's your stance on that?
Well, this one, funny enough, was basically brand new. It was It was like a demonstrator, so it had maybe like 1,000 miles on it or less. And because basically it was a brand new car at the time, it had never been seen before. It's a GLC coupe. We got it in 2016. It's a 2016 plate. So there was literally no other option if you wanted that car but to get it brand new, because it had just come out. But typically, going back, I probably wouldn't have bought it brand new. The cars I bought previously have been maybe a few years old or so. Like you say, I mean, being a salesman, you made a wise decision not getting it brand new. But I appreciate it. And I mean, with all of these things, it's not necessarily a right or wrong, it's what's right for the person. But I just find you're gonna take a hit, so if it's almost new anyway, why not? So I guess the next question is, well, how do you actually afford it? How did I buy it? How do I maintain it? How do I run it? And love to hear the same for Dylan as well. But for me, I've always been a massive fan of taking out loans on cars. So cash is king. And so I like to keep my money in my pocket so that when it's time to invest, or I need to leverage it, or I want to start up a business or a new venture, I've got capital readily accessible. And so what I love about taking out a personal loan is you're borrowing the money, you tend to get a very, very low interest rate on it. So anywhere from 2.5% to maybe 4% is a really good rate. Sometimes it's higher, depends how good your credit is. Exactly.
Mine's not half bad, so I get a really good rate. That's not the case for everyone, but doing that, I probably tend to put down maybe 10 or 20% initially, just to take a little bit of a sting down, take out a loan on the rest and pay it back monthly on very, very low payment. So now this car, I'm paying about £700 a month for this car, but of course I'm paying off the loan at the same time. So when I go to sell the car, the loan is really paying down the depreciation of the car, and then when you sell it, you basically get your money back, and if you're lucky, you might actually have some upside if the car hasn't depreciated as quickly as your payment. So that's really how I've gone about doing it. Dylan and I have had a fair few conversations over the years, and he's a finance king. So
obviously working for the Lux Auto Group, I deal with finance, leasing or PCP, hire purchase, all the different ways of finance. Personally, my car is on finance at a good rate, 4.9% APR, so the interest rate is pretty low, but it's flexible. So, I mean, if you want to change your car after a few years, you have that option. Obviously, there's that balloon payment if you wish to keep the car, but advisably, I would never keep the car to that point. There's different ways you can avoid paying that payment. What Alex touched on about loans, obviously it's great if you've got the credit, if you've got the criteria to access those loans from those banks, but for a lot of people, they tend to swing towards the finance just because there's a bit more flexibility, there's different options for you based on your credit history and stuff like that. But having said that, I think when you're looking at higher end cars, on finance, it starts to become very pricey. So the loan option would seem the best bet, in my opinion. But it depends. It depends what's comfortable for you. It works different for everyone.
No, it's a good point. And Dylan's my friend. I get nothing out of pushing or promoting or vice versa. But what I would say is great about what I see from the likes of Dylan and what Deluxe Auto Group and those types of companies can do. As I say, I get nothing out of this, but it's really if someone needs that kind of end-to-end service and to be looked after. I've grown to love cars, so of course having a car like this, I know a bit about them now, and because of that, a loan is quite easy for me because I can take it out, I know what I'm looking for, I can get a little bit of a steer if I need it, and I'm good to go. But what I have found is, say for example, my mother, her car's on finance, because really what we needed for her was a bit more of an end-to-end service, something to kind of hold her hand through the process. So again, there's not really a right or a wrong, but I think depending on the car, depending on the value, what's your credit like, all of these kind of things will play into it. So I'd always recommend just, have a conversation with me, have a conversation with Dylan, anyone else, just to kind of get a feel for what are your circumstances and just get genuine advice on actually what's going to be right for you. These cars aren't cheap, and so when you're taking out a loan, you need to know what you're doing. And even when you're taking out finance, you need to make sure that you're informed. So I think it's good to have those types of conversations regardless. And just kind of really be informed about the decision. I guess on that note, Dylan, what's going to be the next move for you? What do you think is going to be the next step?
Well, I'm always looking on Auto Trader every day. If you looked on my saved cars, I've got I think over 300 cars. But to be honest, I think the next step for me, I'm looking to keep my car probably for another 2 or 3 years. I like to work on a bit of a longer term scale as opposed to Alex who flips every year. Obviously, the Aston Martin Rapide is number one. I've also got the E63S. I like my beefy saloons with a bit of performance and a comfort as well to match. The Porsche Panamera.
Options.
So, we'll see what the circumstances are saying, but...
What is next? It's hard, man, because I think this was a dream. Dylan will know, some of my other friends, you see pictures I had in my phone book years ago. I8 was a dream, but it was a thing from very early. I dreamt of having an R8, and I got the i8, became the Batman of London. And so now the R8, I think that's got to be the next step, because we all know the mission has been Lamborghini Huracan. I've got 2 years left. So I think the realistic next step is going to be the R8 next year, the Huracan the year after. And I think that would just be a moment to behold. So I can't wait.
You got to bring it to me for the
detailing. Exactly. This is the man for detailing. Even we were looking at the i8 trying to think,
what little touches we can add to it. I was looking at the grille, potentially the badges, but it's so easy. Clean. With a car like this, it already has the frozen black edition. You don't want to do too much to it.
Enjoyed that one, man. Appreciate it. If you enjoyed it too, please make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.